So konnichiwa. My name is David Avido and I'm a fashion designer born and bred in Kenya. So right now we are at a workshop. This is like a small showroom whereby we get to show our products and also enable people to come and see them and try to visualize them and try to understand what Lookslikeavido is about. So Lookslikeavido is not just a fashion house. For us, we are more motivated about the community. So we are more for the community. How do we impact the community and how are we able to change the narrative? Because we want to show people that great things can come from places least expected. So yes, that is Lookslikeavido. When it comes to sustainability, Lookslikeavido normally focuses on three main pillars of sustainability. So here, whereby we focus more into like the environmental sustainability. Aside from the environmental sustainability, we focus so much in the economic development sustainability, and then the third one is the social sustainability, because where we come from, like Kibera, is like highly polluted. But then again, how are we able to change the narration and how we able to show people the realness of how we deal with on what we deal with here in Kibera? So when it comes to the main first one, whereby we'll say that is the social sustainability. This is whereby we try to educate deaf women and young women in the community, whereby we give them the skills that can enable them to be given jobs out there. So once we train them, the classes is normally free of charge. We get the women, as long as they're interested in learning, we train them for like around 6 months, and once they know how to sew, we introduce them to other companies that can hire them to start earning a living. At the end of the day, we also have some of the women that we normally work with here. And then aside from the sewing program that we have with the women, we also normally pay school fees for students in school. As long as you're performing well in school, but you don't have a good, but you don't have money to sustain your school fees in school, because you find most students here in Africa, if you don't pay for school fees, then you're not able to go to school. And most students, you find the one that we are sponsoring, they are maybe staying with their uncles, auntie, good Samaritans, because maybe their parents died and now they don't have anybody to stay with. So when it comes to school, they are not the first priority in the family where they are living in. So we try as much as we can to pay for their fees to enable them to be in school. And then the third sector is whereby now we have school uniform program. So whereby in this school uniform program, as long as you're a student performing well in school but you don't have a good school uniform, we go to school there, take your school measurement, go buy the fabric, come back to you with a new school uniform once we've been able to make it, and it's 100% for free. So all this program that we put ourselves into, we don't take donations to do it, but instead 20% profit of the products that we sell enables us to be able to take care of these programs. So aside from now the social sustainability sector, now we go to now the economic development. So this sector, this is where some of the women that we've been able to educate in our saving program, we bring them up here, and now we are able to introduce them to people that will give them jobs, because this enables the economic condition of the community to be lifted up or to grow in different type of ways. And in this kind of sector, this is where also we try to buy fabric sometimes from the local women, because this also boost the economic of the community. Now aside from that, that's where now we go to the environmental sector. So this is whereby from time to time we organize cleanups in the community, and we clean around the area to be able to enable us to have a good environment whereby we can stay into. And aside from that, the remaining pieces, the offcuts that remains from the products that we make to produce our clothes, we don't throw them or dispose them. Instead, we reuse them to create things like patchwork. And aside from making patchwork, we are also able to make pillowcases, and then we are able to put them inside, so which enables us not to throw the unwanted fabrics that we have. So from time to time, we are trying to focus so much into the type of fashion that we are trying to focus so much into is all about mindfulness, being mindful of how the product we are able to make here affects other people out there. So we are trying as much as we are a brand that comes from Kibera, and it's somewhere whereby people knows as a place that is not really good and stuff. We are trying as much to know how can we be able to create products that also fits the luxury market and can be worn with anybody out there without imagining that it actually came from here. We want to show people in Japan great things come from places least expected. How I do to get to decide how the funds are allocated. So first of all, anytime that a product of our own is bought, that is one of the reasons whereby in 2020, when COVID struck up, we were able to open an NGO. The reason why we opened the NGO, we named it Avido Foundation. The reason why we created the Avido Foundation is because during that time, we were making face masks for free in the people in the community, and we made over 28,000 face masks, and we gave them all for free to everybody in the community. And after that time, we were even given the role of honor with the president as an award. And then now we realized that COVID came to a situation whereby it was not too much serious anymore, but still people were coming to us requesting for more support and help. And we were in a position whereby we could not differentiate our profit and the money that we were using to help people in the society, our community. That's when we decided to create the Avido Foundation. The reason for creating Avido Foundation was to help us differentiate between our profit and the money that we want to reinvest back into business, because we were using 20% profit. Right now, if I sell this Jimono to you, the profit that comes out of it, I take 20% of it and then I put it into the Avido Foundation account. And then after 1 month, I'll go and see how many sales did I have this month. If I've had maybe 20 or 30 or 50 sales, I'll go and take those, the 20% of those, 20% profit of all the 50 sales, and then I go to see what is needed in the school. Is it like new school uniform for student, or there is a student that the school fees is not there yet, or how can I buy fabrics to be able to enable the women that we have in the sewing program to continue learning? So that is how I'm able to allocate the money that comes from the profits that we get. That's how it is allocated. Konnichiwa. Yeah. So I'm just gonna show you about the fabrics that we have, the clothes that we have as a brand, what we normally get to design, and how can these luxury items fit into Japan market also. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you, we like colors. I love colors so much. So all the products that we normally try to make, we are trying as much as we can to be able to express ourselves through these colors and the items that we make. We know colors is not very much of a thing out there, so we are trying as much as we can to also introduce you into our world one step at a time. So when you look at this Jimono, our products mostly are inspired with emotions, the feelings that the human being goes through. So when I was designing the velvet jacket, I wanted to create something that it's inspired with the woman touch. The type of feeling that the woman when they are tired. When you walk out and then your woman just touch you like this, and oh my God, I like you. Things like that, so the things that drives the emotion, makes you feel alive, make you feel wanted, make you feel worthy. Of course, that is luxury for us, and that's why we want to share it with people out there. So when you look at the interior side, it's a bit more colorful, and of course, the Lookslikeavido tag is there. The reason for the circle in the logo, it means community, the togetherness with the people around. And these little emblems that you see around in the circle, these are the corners, the roots that you walk around in the community trying to find ourselves, trying to oversee things that happens around and stuff. And now the Avido, the term Avido, it means growing up together with people around you and lifting each other to greatness. That is the meaning of the logo. And this looks like Avido, it's because now people want to look like that. They want to feel the luxuriness. They want to feel themselves. They want to feel worthy. They want to be seen, able people, in the world as they move on around. So, and then you see the colors that comes inside, both sides. So when you're wearing it on the outside side, it's blue. But when you open inside, it's a different type of world. And you want to live in that type of world, I'm telling you, don't miss it out. So aside from the Jimono, we have these other ones here. So this one is like a bomber jacket, but we're also trying to make it in a way that also people can be able to embrace, not just because people when they speak about bomber jacket, they just think about the college jacket. And how can we be able to advance it, because not everybody is in college and want to just be like a college person out there. So how can we make it more advanced, more luxury for people out there that want to be able to embrace it? And that's why you are how do we do it? So we did the same way. We go on for it. And these one, they come for in different shapes, different colors, depending on the sizes that are needed out there. You see, as you move on. So yeah, this is what like normally like pushes us every day out there, because our community, we believe like the community is like full of colors, and how are we able like to show it out there? Sometimes when we are working in the community, it's hard for us because we feel like everybody is like doing a fashion show, because everybody is very colorful and they are like in a super nice design way. When you look at this jacket, this one here was inspired with the birds. The reason why we embroidered the bird here, it's like a coat, and then you see like the flowers to give it life, and then we have a bird here. The reason why we have this bird is because it shows the sign of freedom. How do you be yourself? Are you free to express yourself out there? Are you free to make people see you for who you are? Are you free to go after your vision? Are you free to embrace everything that comes your way? That is the reason that why we had this embroidered in. And of course, without forgetting the inside part, because you want to be able like to show people how we can be able to integrate these all type of colors and make it a way of life. That's the reason why when you go to the traffic light, there is always like red, green, and yellow, because the colors talks to us, educates us, and tells us what is the next thing. Different type of colors gives you different type of feeling, different type of breathing out there. When you see it, you just feel like you're in some type of way, and we just want to show people there. We want to make people like to also be able to embrace this. That's for sure. Hey, I want to show you something. Look at this. I get inspired also with Japanese type of kimonos, so you can see the simpleness, because this is the type of outfits that you can wear them anytime, anywhere, however way you want to feel like, and they come in like sizes that, whether it's like more oversized, a bit oversized, and way too much oversized, because kimonos are meant for all weather. It just depends on where you want to be and how you want to be. So now that is how I got inspired. Aside from that, to be able like to create my own type of kimono, but now I don't call it kimono anymore. I call it a G-mono. The reason why I call it a G-mono is because the moment you put it inside, this type of feeling that you get, you feel like I'm a G. Like it's not like the G for gangster, but it's like the G of feeling like worthy, the G of feeling the confidence of being yourself, the G of feeling like you can go for the vision, the type of feeling you want to be, the G of feeling that I look smart, I can move around, and that type of way. And I'll put it here, and then I can show you the little details that we do have. So you see, like when you look at this, it's like more inspired like the type of sports. I was also like trying to introduce like the sportiness, the sportsmanship into it, because mostly when you wear like jogger pants out there, they normally have like this kind of threads, and then you can tie it on your waistline. But now instead, I put it here. So how can I be able like to put that all together? And then also at the side from that, now but you have like the pocket there, and then on the pockets there, also you look at the interior. Look at, that's a secret. That's a secret. Yeah, that's a secret. And then you also have the hoodie on top. Just makes you feel like a G. Like you are a G, and you're just like getting out there, getting your dreams together, getting your vision together, and going for all the things that you want in life. Yeah, that's why we were able like to create the G-mono. Not forgetting about the feeling that I told you, the type of feeling that the woman like, just something soft, just something, makes you just like, feel like you're in the middle of the garden, and the pollination is just happening in the flowers, and then you're just like, oi, oi, oi. What a life. Thank you so much. I mean, like right now I'm like 26 years old. I was born and raised here in Kiberas slums, and growing up was never easy. I remember like when I was a young kid, I wanted to be like an electrical engineer, but then again, I dropped out of school when I was 11 years old. My mom didn't have the money to take me to school. That time I used to play soccer, and soccer used to be like, every child's game, and I was pretty good in it. From playing football, I got like scholarship, whereby like it used to pay for my school fees until from the time I was like in class 5, 6, 7 until 8. And then when I reached 11 years old, the scholarship ended up because the football team I was playing for, they lost the scholarship, and now I did not have a way to go to school anymore. I was so depressed at that time because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And from that time, I kept on playing soccer a bit, but most of the football players also that I was playing with, they were also depressed and frustrated, and that kind of thing, trying to look for opportunities, because people never used to see people that come from Kibera community or ghetto community to be talented people. Or most of them, they used to look down on us, and they used to see us as criminals, people who are just involved in drug abuse and things like that. So from that kind of situation, I lost around 60 to 70% of my friends. Most of them were into crime, whereby they were gunned down, and I was afraid of having friends around, and because I didn't know when I'm not with them what they are doing. So from that time I started trying to avoid them, and I started doing spoken word, because I was asking myself God, why is this happening to me? I'm the firstborn in my family. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. How can I support them? Because I need to help them also to find themselves. I need to help them finish the education, and me myself, I'm dropping out of school. I'm 11 years old. I don't know what to do, and just having my mom there as a single mother, so it was really hard and really crazy. So from that situation, I took I spent around 10 years in the street, just trying to find myself, getting to know more about myself. In the process, I started doing dancing. From dancing, the dancing part was just for me to be able to look for alibis, where people that I can spend time with. So in case any of my friends is caught into crime and the police comes looking for me, asking me questions about them, at least I have an alibi of people that will speak up for me, will say David was here, we were doing this with David, and David was not involved with the other thing, and maybe the police could leave you, because sometimes they will take you, go with you, torture you, asking you questions about the things that you don't know, to the process whereby they end up killing you without even you being on a mistake or anything. So it was really hard, and I wanted to stay alive at the time. So from doing spoken word, started dancing, and then from dancing, writing music. Then from music, I was doing also martial arts, because I wanted to be able to protect myself, and I also wanted to get the discipline out of it, because I used to see in Shaolin movies that if people do martial art, it gives you the nature of being disciplined, and you don't want to be involved in fights every time, because you already know how to fight. You are not learning how to fight to be able to fight people, but you are learning how to fight so that I can be strong mentally, so that I cannot be depressed, because at the time most of my friends were really depressed, and some of them even killed themselves, and others ended up into doing lots of drug abuse and died from the situation. So me doing martial art, it really helped me a lot to be strong mentally, put me in a position whereby I knew who I was, I knew what I wanted to become, and I was strong to a point whereby people could just see that. And from doing martial art, I also started doing marathon, running every time, because every time when you're training and stuff, so I started doing lots of running. And in that process, we started getting called to go for competitions with dance. And when we were going for these competitions, they were telling us to always to have good costumes. And then from the process of having good costumes, that's when I started spending more time with the old tailors in the community that were making coats and suits at the time. By spending time with them, I was able to learn how to sew. And after learning how to sew, that's when later on I was I wanted to also pick up the sewing part. The reason why I wanted to pick up the sewing part is because I wanted to create opportunities for people like my mom, so that at least they can have a skill, and then they can at least be hired as tailor somewhere and then earn a living. So that is the only reason why I started doing fashion. I was not doing fashion because I wanted to look smart. I was not doing fashion because I wanted to show people that I have good clothes. I was not doing fashion because I just wanted to boast around or anything. But I was not even doing it because I was creative or maybe I was talented into it. I was just doing it because I badly wanted to create an opportunity for somebody like my mom and other women around the community, so that their kids don't have to go through the same thing that I went through as a young kid. So that's the reason why I started doing fashion, and I'm still doing it up to now, whereby I'm still creating job opportunities for younger women, deaf women, and young mothers in the community. Also male figures in the community. And the reason why I support lots of women in the community is because a woman gives life. Right now, if you find a woman, then you give us let's say even $10, that woman will make sure her kid gets up to the last bit of that $10. That is the reason why I try as much as I can to focus with the women, because as much as I was born like in a very poor background and we were not able like to even afford our meal each and every day, my mother tried up to the limit point whereby she could at least make sure we eat something every single day. Despite not having, she will go out there trying to look, even if we're just gonna drink water and so on. She was trying her level best, and that kind of thing shows me that every woman out there, doesn't matter which condition or what situation they are, but if they even have like $100 or $20 or even $1, their kid is gonna 100% the kid is gonna get up to the last bit of that $1 for them to be able like to keep on living a life. So, and that's why I keep on trying, pushing as much as I can to try create more opportunities for them, and I also get more inspiration from them, and they help me understand how I'm supposed to live my life and also take care of my life and also be there for the community and also understand just what I want to do in life. And that's why I do fashion up to now, and my inspiration just keep on coming from there. And I want to show people that great things can come from places like here, and great clothes can also come from places like here and be worn worldwide, even in Japan and also the other parts of the world. Yeah. So from me making clothes here in the community, like I've been able like to be blessed to be able like to work with like lots of big names out there. I've been able like to work with Vogue Italia. I've been able like to work with Vogue USA, Essence magazine from US. I've been able like to work with CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, so many media houses. Sometimes I even lose track to some of them. When it comes to like individuals, I've been able like to make clothes for like some of the Bob Marley kids like Damian Marley. I've been able like to make clothes for Usain Bolt. I made a suit for Usain Bolt. I've made an outfit for Stormzy. I've made like a jacket for Bruno Mars. I've also been able like to be part of Beyonce Black is King album. So the way this opportunity for Black is King album came up, it was just immediately during COVID time. And during COVID time I had like stood up with my community in a bigger way, whereby I was like making face masks for the community like and giving them out for free for everybody. And I made over 28,000 face masks and just gave it out to everybody, just like each and every day. And I was not just giving them the mask, but I was giving them as I tell them like what I knew about COVID and what I was hearing about COVID and what they were supposed to do in that COVID situation. From there, that's when like Beyonce team reached out when Beyonce was making her album Black is King. And in Black is King, she was speaking about like great minds and great leaders in communities and societies that are standing up with their people and being there for their people and being creative in a way that they are able to make the people in the community to evolve and see the vision in life. So when they reached out, they wanted me to be part of the inspiration of the album Black is King, because they say that I was one of the examples that stands out as a Black is King, being the album for what it was. And I was like, okay, it sounds good. And we had more chat about it, and then later on we came to like common understanding and common goal, and then I was like, okay, I'm happy to be part of it. So that's how the process of me working with Beyonce came up, and it was really nice and it was really magic, because I get inspired also with different creatives out there, how they're able like to do their art and express themselves, and being able like to collaborate and express yourself in different type of terms shows like like everybody can come together, and doesn't matter where your background is, as long as you're willing to go and work towards it, it's possible. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to tell you about Kibera Fashion Week. Like, Kibera Fashion Week is not just a fashion week for us, to be honest, because I remember like, when I started my brand, I reached a time whereby like everybody in the community, whenever they could see me as a sign of hope, as a sign of like, seeing like everything is possible, doesn't matter where we come from. And when I could see them back, I was like in a position, I was in a position whereby I was like, what am I really supposed to do? Because I felt like I was only able like to keep on supporting the people that maybe I could relate with, in terms of maybe like paying for their school fees in school, making their school uniforms, or maybe like giving them the sewing classes. But the other people that were not interested in these kind of things, I was like, how can I be able to also like inspire them and make them see like that you can achieve anything in life? And that's when I was like, what about if I come up with the idea about like a fashion week? And this fashion week was created to inspire, like, let's say the people that drive motorcycles in the community, whereby it shows that the work they do also makes them earn a living, whereby you find like some parents, they look down on maybe the talents that their kids have. So your kid maybe is talented in maybe kickboxing, then they're like, no, this is not the right thing for you, go to school. Because so many parents ends up believing that every kid have to go to school to be able like to have a better life. You can go to school, you get the degrees and masters, and then you end up not even getting work. You leave school and then you end up being super depressed. And I was like, me, I'm not a fruit of the school. I dropped out when I was 11 years old, and my mom did not have the money to take me to school. But still, I'm able to go to rooms whereby people that went to school also goes to that room, and then we're able like to exchange, because it's not about the grades that you got, but it's about the experience in life that you have, the vision, and what you're looking forward into life is what matters a lot. So I was like, if I create Kibera Fashion Week, I'll be able like to inspire parents who sees their kid maybe playing chess as an advantage and try to invest into that and educate them how to do more of chess. If they are doing maybe like if they are running, how do you push them to keep on running a lot? If they are maybe involved in boxing, how do you push them to doing boxing a lot? If they like creating stuff, inspire them to keep on drawing, creating, because that is art, and art pays. And also at the same time, I also wanted to inspire the kids not to look down on their parents' businesses. Let's say like your father maybe, let's say, is a carpenter or is like a mechanic, so you look down on what the job they're doing because you feel like they're not maybe like driving Range Rovers or maybe like those big cars and stuff. So you find like most kids now, instead of respecting their parents, they end up now like, you know, just trying to do the TikTok things whereby you're just showing about like the good food, big cars, and you guys don't own that at home. So which means for you to be able like to live that kind of way, you're gonna look for like a sugar daddy or a sugar mommy, which is not good at all. So I was like, how can I be able like to create a program whereby like I'll be able like to educate both these parents and also both their kids to be able like to understand life for what really it is, and how can we be able like to push yourself to be able to be a better person in life. And through the same process, I also wanted to show people that we can also have like our fashion show in the community, because when we were all young, we just used to see like, you know, fashion shows in TVs. When we see like the soap operas, most of the soap operas that we used to see, it was just like all about like, you know, fashion pageant, beauty pageant and stuff, but we never used to have our own fashion show here. So I wanted to show people in the community that you don't have to leave your community to go outside to be able to make it in life. We can do it in our own way, show people how we live, make them understand who we are and what we stand for. And that's how Kibera Fashion Week was born. So whereby like we get the models, because some parents think that if somebody is working with clothes, showcasing the clothes, they think like that is prostitution, but it is not really prostitution. We want to educate them like fashion design is this, fashion modeling is this, you know, this type of other thing. Now this is prostitution and this is other prostitution, so don't do this. So how can we be able like to educate them? It's by showing them, and that's how the idea for Kibera Fashion Week came, and we were able like to execute it. The picture that we see on the back, you know, is one of the artists that was part of Kibera Fashion Week. He came and he was like, let me just draw this, because he wanted to show people that this is how he got his inspiration, and he was like kind of showing me like in a form of way whereby like I'm just like deep in my thoughts and just thinking about like how can we be able like to better the Kibera Fashion Week to be like in a better time kind of terms. So it is like a program that has been created to be able like to empower like lots of people in the community, to create job opportunities, create like, you know, vision holding, and just push people to know that they can achieve anything in life without trying to be able like to be people who they are not at the same time in life. So that's why Kibera Fashion Week came up to be Kibera Fashion Week. Yeah! Yeah, for me, when it comes to speak about like, you know, my personal success, because this is like the things that are more personal that you feel like it's a success thing for you. So when it comes to me, I feel like personal success is being able like to find myself, being able like, you know, to acknowledge myself, being able like, you know, to know when I make a mistake and I can stand up for it, being able like, you know, to be strong mentally, being able like, you know, to be myself despite whatever situation that happens around, and on top of it all, being able like to manage my own time. To me, I define those ones as a personal success. And on top of it all, being alive is a personal success that people sometimes normally look down at. And if you're not alive, there's no way success comes with that. So being alive is one of the biggest personal success that I carry with me everywhere I move around. Thank you.
As your designs gain international recognition, do you feel a responsibility to become a role model for aspiring designers from underprivileged backgrounds worldwide?
Yeah, I mean, as more as my designer is still keeping out to go out and travel out and being appreciated outside there, I feel like the niche of being like a role model to so many people, the pressure is there. And in this kind of situation, whether the thing is like whether you want it or you don't want it, you still ends up being like a role model to people, because they are not being a role model to them because they like you, but you are being a role model to them because they like maybe your personality, or they like the products that you are getting out there. So they are trying to learn and understand what is needed for them to be able to create products like you, or what is needed for them to be able to be in a kind of position like you. So sometimes some people might like your state of mind, some people might like the state of your product, some people might like the state of your quality, and some people might like the state of your own movement. So it depends, but at the end of the day, the pressure is there to be like a role model, and I'm happy being a leader in my community, because at least I'm able to be like a change maker. Being a change maker in the community is something more powerful and respectable, because I'm in a position whereby like I don't want the same mistake that happened to me to happen again to other people that are growing up right now. The struggles and the challenges that I went through as a designer to be able to establish myself, I don't want other designers to go through the same thing. So that is the importance of being like a change maker in the community, because I'm able to change this kind of thing whereby less people in the community right now are affected with mental health issues, because I'm able to speak about them, advise them, educate them what is the need of doing something in a different way than doing it in another type of way. And then aside from that, also being in a position to tell them the ways to follow if their business doesn't do well. It's not like life is not just bound to focus on one business. That's why we keep on living and keep on evolving. And somebody who is evolving, it means even if they are so much attached to one thing, it will be a time whereby you've outgrown whatever you're doing. But how can you be able now to find a way that you can fall back in love, back into it, if that thing gives you peace and happiness? So yeah, the pressure is there, and the pressure is real. Yeah.
Sure. Last question.
Yep.
Let's say in 10 years you have unlimited resources and support. What's your wildest dream project for improving the lives of others through fashion?
My biggest dream, not only even in 10 years, this is something that if I get the all the resources required, I can even start doing them tomorrow. It's first of all, I want to be alive. That is one of it. And then aside from being alive, I also want to be in a position whereby I can be able to empower 50 to 500 people at least, because I want to create more job opportunities in the people in the community, because lots of people in this community, they have the skills, the talents, super capable of doing lots of type of work in different type of way, different types of form, but they lack one thing: the opportunities to express themselves. So through the fashion things that I'm doing, I'm just trying as much as possible to be able to create opportunities for them, so that I can be able to empower them, give them jobs, educate them onto new skills, and tell them how they're supposed to groove and move around. And by doing that, I believe I'll be in a position whereby I'm able to impact the community in a better way. And aside from it, hoping to create also a hub whereby not only people that focus into fashion can be into, but all types of skills. As long as you are an artist, you are talented, you want to learn, even if you don't have a skill but you want to learn new skills, you'll be able to get a space in there, because it will be a hub of everybody learning new skill, developing new skills, mastering new skills, having a workspace to do your work there, finding a way to do marketing and things like that. So it will be a hub for all type of things arts related, whereby we're able to boost people's self-esteem, to be able to be themselves, to be able to achieve what they want according to their visions and goals. So yeah, my wildest dream is to be able to create job opportunities in the community and create a safe space for an artist and whoever who is out there that want to live a different life or want to change their life. So through fashion, hopefully I'm gonna do that, and through maybe selling my products in Japan, hopefully it will make our work easier to achieve that. Thank you so much. We appreciate Japan people.